Projecting. This microphone is actually just for the recording that he's doing, and the people in the back were really just recording these 2 tables, so you're not going to be on film, really, basically. But so I'm Zennurgy, and I'm actually doing a goal setting workshop today because we just entered a whole new 2021. Can we get a clap for 2021? Can we get a boo for 2020? Yes, boo. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad that year is over. I'm so looking forward to something new, something exciting. So we're going to be really thinking about what we want to accomplish this year. I put out a whole bunch of different little motivational things, journals, stickers, a workbook we're going to be working through, and just getting that positive mindset started. So we're going to start off with some poetry because I actually have several friends that are poets that have come out, to join me today. And I think poetry is great for getting the creative juices flowing and getting people thinking about possibilities. And so I'm going to start with the first piece of the day. I always like to say whenever I start a poetry show, that we should leave the outside outside. And we should just come in here to be refreshed and to just, leave some stress, just let it kind of wiggle out of our fingers. So I want you guys to picture in your mind just all the stress kind of just going out of your body, down into the ground. Nature has a wonderful way of taking all the stuff that we don't need and using it creatively, positively. So just picture all that stress just leaving you. Picture your mind being open to the possibilities of this year. Picture just a new day. I'm picturing a sunrise in my mind, the newness, the clear air, just refreshing, all of that. Those, we have this new year in front of us, a new day in front of us, and it's amazing to be alive and healthy and moving forward. And so that's kind of what we want to be focusing on, just that newness. And so I'll start off with a piece about my name. My name, as I told you, is Zennurgy. So what do you guys think is the first question that people say when they hear that? Anybody in the room? Huh?
Where'd you get Zen?
Where did I get Zen? Okay, so I'm going to tell you. They normally ask, is that your real name, which is not. But I will tell you the origin of that name. My name is Zennurgy, and I will now unfold the story behind that name and the lessons that it holds. 20 years ago, I worked my way through college ed. Waitressing, I paid the bills. 3 jobs in all, I bled. A day arrived so full of strife, coworkers craved the pill that kept a smile upon my face when they all wanted to kill. What are you on that gives you rest? I need some of your Zen, they stressed. I smiled and just confessed my faith is all I need. Fast forward 10, and once again a day arrived with rage, and in the midst of chaos, others marveled at my grace, hung around, embraced my calm, my total centeredness. Again, they intoned Zennurgy, but I did not see that in me until I embraced my destiny. I had to give in. It took me 20 years to see the purpose of my life, to calm and soothe and to inspire, to dim effects of strife. Ashe came next, a word that means so be it, like amen. Yoruba in origin, it bonds me to lost kin, yet deeper still, like Shayla, written in the Psalms. It means be still and meditate on what you read, ponder long. Yet even more, it means my words exhale with force. They live, they breathe, they change the world, they alter my own course. A writer and a poet, this name states my destiny to exhale living, breathing words that change humanity, that encourage people to consider truth and challenge them to grow. Because at the end of everything, self-knowledge must unfold. And so now you know my purpose and you understand my plan. You have just entered the state of Zen. Never be the same again. Well, thank you. Thank you. And so that's one of my pieces that I normally perform. And I also like to do a piece about fatherhood because I think that fathers are really important. So do we have any fathers in the building? Okay, a couple of fathers in the building, okay. And I hope that this year, fathers get put on a higher pedestal than they have in the past, because sometimes I think you guys get overlooked and not appreciated. So this piece is about fathers, Fathers are not disposable. I heard a poet say his favorite day was Sunday because he got to see his son only one day before his ex disappeared and left him no day. Heartbroken, son stolen, he had to move on to just another day. I heard a poet say his wrongs loud and strong and transparent humility as he begged, pleaded, cried, just let me see my son. I heard another say his ex's words were weapons with one target, his heart, a heart she coldly tore apart as she took aim at his most precious part, his connection to his children. Too many fathers wounded by too many women scorned, and this single mother's come to say that this has gone on too long. There seems to be a fallacy that needs to be laid to rest, that single mothers own all the rights to the children they possess. Are you crazy or just stupid or so blind you cannot see? Fathers are not disposable, but as necessary as maternity. They are not human condoms that leaked and need discarding. They're not wallets just for withdrawing. They're not convenient babysitters when we mothers want a break. They're equal genetic partners in a child that God has made. A mother owes her child the best chance at love and life, and whether that man broke your heart or never made you wife is irrelevant. Let me repeat, it doesn't matter a bit. He can be a great father and a lousy spouse. He can co-parent and not live in your house. He's not worthy just when he obeys. He's worthy because there's a dad-sized space in the heart of every child. A mother cannot fill. I'm not talking about abusers, but a true father's will. My father did not know for sure my sire, but he stepped up to the plate as one desire to give all his maybe child required. My son's father abandoned them, but I was super mom. I moved right along. My sons don't need a man until I saw them latch on with vice grips to my new boyfriend. Their need for male energy so apparent, I vowed to never subvert that current. A father's love is not a mother's touch. It's not a woman's words. It's not a stage to rush through. It's an ingrained portion that leaves deep wounds. So selfish mothers dig two tombs, one for the love that has died and one for the child you are depriving. Pregnancy should have taught you this. For that child, everything is risk. Your pride, your whims, your self-centered pleas should take a back seat to that child's needs. And he should not hear you tear part of him down when you say his father is a witch or a clown. And she should not hear lies told in vengeance and spite just because you won't grow up and do what's right. Killing a father-child bond should be heresy, but it happens too often, and that should not be. So as one single mother to the others, don't deny your child a good father. Without that father, your child would not be. So let bygones be history and admit what should be obvious to see. Fathers are vital, crucial, and necessary. Fathers are not disposable. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you reach out, to the fathers, the good fathers that you know, and encourage them to make 2021 the best year with their kids, with their family, to grow our families, to build them, to make them stronger and healthier, because we want 2021 to be the best year it can be. So I'm going to bring up another poet, all right, and he's going to share with you guys. His name is Max. I'd like you guys to put your hands together for Max, and we're going to hear some of his poetic inspiration for today.
Hey, how y'all doing? I am Max Mordeeb, and this is Black Rain Radio. Here's an illustration of what the vision is, held by no boundaries. The possibilities are limitless. Pure potential surrounds me, the birth of things. My manifested dreams, navigating the galaxy beyond the gravity of Saturn's rings. So far from the thought of an average being, product of society, crack the fiends. Denials of sobriety while sipping on that yak and lean. It's always chess and never checkers. So if she gotta go, I let her while they cuff the queen. The heart of my art bends like a reed in the wind, parallel to the point where doubt ends and faith begins. The weight of the world, it now drowns my fears, so no sink but swim. You can never fathom the depths of a will to win. Perfectly outlined patterns where portraits are penned in an imperfect world that's immersed in sin. So I bare my teeth and use bones as toothpicks to dislodge the meat. See, everything is everything and I want everything. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing, so I invest in me. When your eyes on the prize, nothing's quite what it seems. The feast, the potluck, how you eat depends on what you bring. This is Black Rain Radio.
So I like that piece, and we are here to invest in ourselves. We are here to bring out those goals, write them down. You know, Steve Harvey did a video recently and he was talking about writing down the vision so that he that reads it can run. You know, so when you write something down, you make it a lot more concrete. It's not nebulous. You actually had to put words, you had to define what you want, and you gave yourself a target. You know, so that's one way we can invest in ourselves, coming out, spending time, brainstorming with other people, getting insight from their experiences and putting that into a book that we can go back to and say, hey, okay, this is something that can help me build myself. This is something that I can share with my community. So that's what we're here for. We're here to, as he said, invest in ourselves. So I'm going to bring up another poet, Siraj Rakim, and he has rap and poetry. He's a actor. He also does, you know, all kinds of different creative things. So he's got your old CD is what, Poetry Over Beats, that's still out, and you're working on a new CD, right? Volume 2. Okay, so he's going to share some of his poetic inspiration with us today. So guys, put your hands together for Siraj Rakim and welcome him to the stage.
All right. How y'all doing this night, this morning, this evening? So this piece is called, I got a new poem I'm gonna do today. This is called, I'm Sovereign. So my prophecies like the Celestine. See, I'm from New Orleans where them boys lean off amphetamines. You won't believe I seen things you ain't never seen. But I'm heaven's dream and my heart beam is forever green. I tell them young boys before they cock and squeeze, stop and breathe. You know I drop keys over beats, my poetry's like medicine. I hear the angels in my choir sing to help me to acquire some nice things that the cheddar brings. I'm never settling for less, no time for those haters and nosy neighbors that's meddling. I'm blessed. 2021, my vision's still clear, my whole team persevere. No hokers and pokers, no we focusing here. You just gotta pay attention and listen to your inner visions. That's premonitions, intuitions, what your feelings revealing. Now listen, I'm all in, I'm sovereign. I travel the stars like Martians. I move with caution. This is food for thought. If you spiritually starving, know who you are. We never left the garden, God's den. I'm all in. Often I'm lost in the heart of my pen. You hear the sounds of the trumpet, saints start marching in. I run with a circle of winners. Yeah, we all a win. See, they're trying to tell us that we born in sin, but we born in heaven. Fell to this flesh, bone, and skin. I try to tell them I'm in my zone again, cause I'm prone to win. Meanwhile, your favorite artists, they get cloned again. You see, they say we targets, but I say we was chose to ascend. Dominion over all the forces, I'm controlling the wind. You see, I'm from the brick jungle, New Orleans. I'm that rose again. I'm meek and I'm humble, cause the ghost is close to him. Till every soul get exposed to him, we flood the market. I'ma love regardless, my heart is pure, and that's the cure for the heartless. Rumors of wars, but we endure regardless. Only thing you need know is that God's in control of this starship. I am the law, and most cops are the lawless. But through it all, I remain on top of God's list. El Presidente, chief in command, head of my office. Yeah. I do one more for you guys. This one's called Black Man's Magic. I said I got that black man's magic. You see that man, he get added. Any problems, any static with that man, It's tragic. You see, that man's a magnet for love and positivities, above the possibilities and any negativities. Really, they help develop your best abilities. See, I invest with the rest as real as me. That's relativity, my electricity and magnetism. Study my algorithms like mathematicians with mad precisions. At last, my cash is risen. See, in the past, I was in the pad just chilling. But now my vision's past 1 million, past 500 million. You see, I'm talking about that lavish living. See, all I do is ask and it's given. I cross my path and it's a cataclysm. You see, you either add or subtract, but division, now that's bringing lack to your mission. You see, you think cause you black, you a victim, but they think tanks and putting blacks in prisons and building banks. So that's capitalism. Now you can think until you get an aneurysm. But before I mastered my mind, I had to master my feelings. You see, my ego was evil, so I had to kill him. Now you looking at a master magician. Pause the universal laws of attraction with him. I said I am the universe. You lost if you attacking him. I'm a star plus I'm mass appealing. And when I write it on a track with a rhythm, first I visualize with my spiritual eye. Until I feel it, then my spirit will thrive. Then every lyric, it materialized from inside the enterprise where every miracle lie. My first eye, Heru, the hero will arise. I'm one of the realest alive. I arrive once I realize that I never can die. I dream high, keep my wings to the sky. I'm born wise and I'm lyrical. The Bible is metaphysical. You taking it too literal. Instead of developing your mind, body, and spiritual mind science and principles. I'm in the mystery temples to remember the mystery in my tempo, the memories in my mental. If you didn't know, he's from the brick jungle. Yo, that's the streets of the Inno. But now no more police at my window. Why? Cause I found inner peace without the endo. And no, see, I don't believe in coincidentals. And you can feel my energy on an instrumental. I treat the beat like it's serenal. Cause this for my peeps and my kin folks. Cause family matters like I'm a Winslow. When the difference between rich and poor is knowing I was always rich, even when my ends was low. But now my ends, they grow. And now my energy, it constantly increases me. And now my skin, it glow. If you're not synergetically compatible, raise your frequency. If you vibrate at a sadder mood, my attitude is gratitude. Now I move on the longitude and latitude. I razzle dazzle, abracadabra you with this black man's magic. I'm telepathic. I can make matter move with this black man's magic. Yeah, that's right. I said I got that black man's magic. Yeah.
There were so many gems in there talking about conquering the ego, because the ego a lot of times will tell you a lot of negative things. It's our biggest critic that we have, that inner voice that tells you you can't and you're not and you won't and you didn't. That's not really the true you. You know, the true you is something bigger and deeper than that, that's divine. And we have to, as he said, get rid of that ego, you know, and say, hey, you know, that's not my destiny. My destiny is what I'm creating. My destiny is what was God given for me. And just as he was talking about realizing who you are, that's coming from that spirit, that's coming from the soul, that's eternal. And just not even buying into all of those different stereotypes and different narratives that the world could possibly put on you, and saying, hey, I am not any of that. I am, and you decide what goes after that I am, and not society, not the news, not, you know, anyone who's speaking negatively over you, you know. And so that's very powerful. So he was given a lot of gems in that piece, and that's part of what we're going to be doing today, is creating affirmations, creating those things that we can speak over ourselves so that we're not, you know, buying into those negative statements that have been spoken over us. And so I'm really excited that he did both those pieces, because there was a lot of beauty in those pieces. So I'm going to bring up one more poet, and then we're going to get into the goal setting part of this day. And his name is Zone, and he has a company called I'm Possible. That's all about saying that your circumstances do not define your destiny. You may be at point A, but that doesn't mean you can't get to point Z. You know, it's just a process. And so I'm going to bring up Zone. So if you guys could put your hands together for Zone, he's going to give us some of his poetic inspiration.
When I say zone, y'all say poetry. Zone.
Poetry.
Zone.
Poetry.
You know, yeah, last year was a doozy. You know, I'm glad that a new year started, new year, new beginnings. You know, a lot of stuff was destroyed last year. We lost a lot of people. Jobs were lost. But I believe that once things are destroyed, you can still rebuild from the wreckage. You can rebuild from the ashes, right? So that's what I'm gonna do this year, and that's what I want everybody in this room to do this year, is rebuild from your ashes. See, I was so focused on the reflections of yesterday, I became blinded to tomorrow. All I could see was the mistakes I made, littering the walls of my consciousness, like posters of forgotten pop stars. And I remember when the fire started. My anxiety was the gasoline, poured all over the floor, lit by the strike of my tongue to the side of the box that my mind was trapped in. Desperately, I grasped for a chance to save, but I was too late. Damage done, flame uncontrollable. I watched the blaze grow, and I remember when it was just a spark. I couldn't put it out. I wasn't willing to walk in the dark. See, the choices I've made were fuel to this inferno. I was hoping to mend the scorched blemishes on my world's flesh, but I didn't know how to use the extinguisher until it was framed in retrospect. And now here I am, left with a world that's crumbling like the end of eternity cigarettes, and I woke to new reality. Wreckage all around me, scattered, frayed pieces of me. Opportunities missed, ideas dismissed, remaining only as disintegrating embers of what used to be. My fingerprints, caramelized and charred remnants. I'll never forget, I did this. See, choice holds consequences hand like the child eager to learn. Charred remains lost in my thoughts. I'm still trying to put the pieces back together, but they keep assembling the same damn picture. See, I tried to burn the circumstance, but I couldn't singe the past. So here I am, lost within the aftermath. So I thought of slitting my wrist. I just wanted to bleed into the ashes. I'll never forget the pain. I just want to feel something again. So I ran, soaked in exertion. I ran from the regret. Ashes, blood, twisted with my sweat, created the clay that molded the bridge to tomorrow. So I see now. Maybe the past is supposed to be destroyed, till there's nothing left but the ashes. Memories of what used to be. Breaths of ash air, the fertilizer to a new existence. And finally, I can breathe. And we can't forget who we are. I'm possible, you're possible, we're possible. Our circumstances do not define destiny. You know, for the past 400 and some odd years, this has been evil in this world. We can't forget who we once were. What was once was can be rebuilt again. And all we gotta do is unite and build it. I mean, look at this. Look at the queen that built this. If we keep doing stuff like this, we'll be back to where we need to be and be royalty again, right? See, we are the color that comes from the dark. Glistening stars lost in vast cosmos, underestimated until glistening stars become galaxies. We are the inevitable answer, the answer to questions that shade has difficulty obscuring. Waves that rise like phoenixes from waters that flash like bullets, leaving us standing in aftermath. 2 feet planted, seeds that grow to trees of life. Kingdoms built from the branches, creating universes that are only glimpses of the possibilities within our thoughts. We are The existence of existing existences intermingled to create an evolution. We are the evolution, revolution of what really was. Before time was time, and everything was ours rather than yours and mine. We are the Alpha, bringing about the Omega and Omega, our footsteps leaving behind legacies, building empires that make Romans fall to their knees. We are the melanin-bathed bliss when eyes are open to the universe as it was, not as it is. We are the melanated future, past, and our presence is the tremor of this tattered society. We are the soil, constructing hills to stand atop, and we scream at the mountaintops, we coming! But don't stop there. Remember, the power lies from the tips of your toes to the naps in your hair, so wear it proud. Royalty. We are the birth of truths. Confrontations are pieces of human nature's infinite puzzle, twisted around finite circumstances, blinded to the appeal of peaceful unity, but cohabitation to become a collective of our shattered dreams, put back together with the adhesives of us. We are the thunder clapping when we speak, diamonds in rough patches, misunderstood clarity, don't you dare forget your glasses. We are shining stars in night skies, loners in black cosmos. Some say we aren't as bright, but further inspection changes perception, so make the correction. We are royalty. Zone. Poetry. Thank y'all.
So by now you should be feeling good. You should be feeling inspired. You should be feeling like there's nothing but possibility out there, and there's nothing but opportunity out there. And it's all about the choices that you make that determine what you get. It's all about the words that you speak to yourself and to others that determine what you get. So we are gonna transition now into the goal setting part of this workshop. So I know we have some people who are back there. If you guys wanted to get a goal setting workbook, you can get one. If you want to stay for the workshop, you can stay. You know, just came for lunch. Okay, just offering it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the workbook out. And I wanted you guys to look through. There's several pages. So we're going to do one kind of together as a whole group, and then I wanted us to do one as tables and kind of share out. So I'm going to call off some of these titles, and then I want you guys, we'll kind of come to a consensus of what you want to talk about for the first one. So we got abundance, access, accountability, action and advancement, adapting, alignment, alternatives, ambition, amusement, ancestors, acceptance and appreciation, aromatherapy, aspirations, assurance, attitude, and then the last page is asking, authenticity, and the law of attraction. So I want you guys to pick where you want to start, where we want to start as a whole group. Just let me know. I'm going to give you some time to kind of look and decide what topic you'd like to start with. What you got, Siraj? You look like you decided. Abundance, the first one. Okay. Is everybody okay with starting with abundance? All right. So I'm going to read this, and then we're going to do some brainstorming. And there's no right or wrong answers with brainstorming. This is for us to kind of come up with things that inspire us on this topic. And you're going to be creating an affirmation and a goal in this area, and then putting down a date. Now, at the bottom, you can see there's white space on here. The white space is what we're going to call your area of possibility. You can put someone's picture here later. that you feel like, for example, who do you guys think of when it comes to abundance, living or dead? The creator. Okay, so you could put a picture here that reminds you of your creator, because of course our creator is abundant, created everything we see, and even things we can't see, like our imagination and all the things going in our bodies, the millions of, well, probably trillions of cells in our bodies, all the things we can't see, the microscopic, neurons and electrons and all of the waves in the air that are creating the sound that we hear. I mean, so you could put something that reminds you of the creator there. Anybody have another person? We'll go with a person, living or dead, that you think of abundance. It kind of makes you think of abundance.
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, okay. So you could maybe put a picture of Barack Obama and then why he makes you think of abundance. Like for me, Oprah came up because she was one of the first black billionaires and first black woman billionaire that I knew of. So I think about all of the things that she's created. I think about movies she's created, her show, all the shows that she did, the network she created. So I think of abundance. I think of her Oprah's favorite things. Everybody remember that? When she would be giving out, you get a car and you get a car and you get a car, So I think of abundance with her. Anybody have any other person that comes to mind? Mansa Musa. I was hoping somebody would say that. He was the richest man that ever lived. So you could put pictures here. Those would be inspirational pictures, kind of role models, people that you can aspire to be like. And my suggestion would be during this year to actually read about those people that inspire you, to read a book or watch a documentary on Mansa Musa, Oprah Winfrey, Barack Obama, and see what you can learn from that person. Because the goal is for us to incorporate nuggets from other people's lives. Because how did they get to where they got? They had some kind of technique to get there. And maybe we could take a little of what they did, or a lot of what they did, and put it into our lives. All right, so we got a couple of people. So why don't you can go ahead and take your pen, take your marker. Let's write down those people. Write down Barack Obama. Write down Mansa Musa. Write down Oprah Winfrey. You can put it anywhere you want to on this page, and those would be people that you can go back to. So I'm going to read at the very top what it says with abundance. Meditate or pray and ask yourself these questions. In your journal, write your answers in a section that you'll title Abundance. When is a time I felt full of life, health, and happiness? So one of the things we want to do is you want your mind to get used to feeling certain things, because attracting things to you has a lot to do with the feelings that you're putting out into the universe. So if you can go back to what I call a kernel memory and you can feel that again, then you can actually incorporate that into your life and actually build your own vibration so that you're vibrating at a higher level. All right, so thinking about what's the time that you guys felt full of life, full of health, full of happiness. Anybody want to share a time you just felt full of life, full of health, full of happiness? I'm going to give you mine. December 18th, when I had the show and I came back to the stage after 8 months of being away from the stage, I felt full of happiness. I felt full of joy. I felt full of possibility. I felt like life was starting to come back to normal, even just a little bit. Just being up on the stage, I felt that possibility. It made my heart feel full. I felt lifted and light. And I can even remember that. See, the thing about memories, if you remember something vividly enough, it doesn't feel like a memory anymore. It starts to fill you up. It starts to make you go back to that place. And you start to recapture those emotions. And so that's what makes those emotions so powerful, because you know what emotions are? They motivate us to want to have that feeling again, to want to create that more and more. And so that's one time when I felt that way. Anybody come up with a time when they felt, what you got?
About 4 years old. I was in school yet, so I remember I was riding back in my mom's car one day, and And I was just thinking about God and He created everything, all the planets, the stars, everything, all the people He created. And I'm like, God, then He made me. And I just felt so full of life and special. You know what I'm saying? Just think about how God made everything, then He also made me. And I just felt awesome. And when I think about that memory, I get that same feeling again. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I try to hold on to that feeling, and I use that feeling to attract and use the laws of attraction and manifest things with that feeling.
Yes, yes, yes. I remember, sometimes when we're watching movies, they give us nuggets. And I don't remember exactly what movie it was, but it was this movie about these kids that were psychic. And they were trying to tap into their powers. And their teacher was saying, you have to find a memory that makes you feel powerful. When you get that memory, you're going to feel the power, and then the power is going to rise within you. And even though that was a movie, that was real, because when you feel, I'm an athlete. Okay, even though I may not look like it now, I will always be an athlete because I spent like 10 years of my life being an athlete. And our coach, I've had some great coaches. Our coach knew that when we were going through a bad season or a bad time on the court, he knew he had to take us into that locker room. And he had to change our mentality and our focus. He had to... Everybody knows what it is, right? You had to have the pep rally before the game, and then you had to have the pep talk during the game. You had to go to the locker room, right? Because what was going to happen when you had that pep talk, you were going to feel different when you came out that room. And because you felt different, you know what happened? You acted differently. You didn't go back out there defeated and down. You went out there feeling like you could win. And because you felt like you could win, you did a lot of times. Because, there's a saying, I think Roosevelt said it, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Because this is where it starts and this is where it continues, that feeling. So if we can go back and if you can really start to, you might want to put out to the side, like I would put down for you, I would put down the time when you were 4 years old and you were riding in mom's car and you felt like the amazingness of being created by God and that how powerful all the things that were in you were, all those seeds that he put in you. So you could put that right there on the side so that whenever you pick up this book, you remember that memory and you go back to that and you say, okay, that's how abundant I am. I'm as abundant as all the trees and the grass out there. I've got all of that potential in me, just potential, just unlimited potential, and so that's what you could do. So when is the time I felt I had more than enough? Anybody want to share that? A time you felt like you had more than enough, like you felt like, man, wow. I think back to when I was a kid, going to my grandmother's house and you look at the Christmas tree and there's so many presents you can't even count them. And you don't know how many are for you, but you feel like, oh my gosh, I know I have a bunch under that tree. And I felt like it didn't even matter what was in the box. Just that feeling of like, oh my gosh, look at how much is there. Look at all of that abundance. And going back to that, I did the same thing for my kids, just having them have that feeling of abundance. And so when you're sitting there looking at the bills sometimes, you might need to just put them aside, close your eyes, and go back to that time when you felt like you had more than enough. Because if you can picture that enough, and you could picture that money coming into you and opportunities coming into you, then eventually you're going to have more than enough because it'll change. Everything will change because this changes, so kind of going back to that time when you felt more than enough. Anytime you felt more than capable, anybody have like a time when they felt like, man, I can do this. I can do this. Is that bringing any? Okay. You want to share? Okay.
I remember when I passed the test to teach math in high school, because I had failed it so many times before. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. But when I got there and I knew the information, I just I felt like, okay, I passed it this go around. There's no way I couldn't have not passed it this time. So just being able to pass that test, you know, because so much was weighing on in my relationship, you know, just moving forward in my career. And when I finally passed, I just knew that I had elevated a little bit from where I was 2 days, a month before, a year before.
And the great thing about that is whenever you get ready to take another test, before you start that test, you can go back in your mind to that memory of knowing that you know the answers, knowing that you got it, knowing that you're going to pass it. And then you feel, what happens is you begin to feel peace, you begin to relax, and then you allow yourself to do better because you're not stressed. You're not releasing all those cortisol hormones. You know, you're actually releasing the power in you to tap into all those memories of what you know, and it's all about mindset. So the next question is, when did I feel I had access to people, places, and things that I wanted or needed? You know, I remember when I first started this show and I was going through my phone book, and everybody I called except one was saying yes. Yes, we'll come and perform. Yes, we'll do this. Yes, we'll do that. Yes, we'll do this. Yes. And I felt like I'm good. I don't have to worry about this. I have access to everybody I need. I have access to everything I need. Everything is just flowing into this situation. And I felt like the doors had just been, just thrown open for me. And it was just such a good feeling like all I had to do was walk through. All I had to do was just walk through, Anybody else had a feeling when you felt like, what you got?
I think that would be when I moved here to Houston, just in 2018. And I was living, me and my children came here, and we were living with a relative. And soon after we got here, she kicked us out, so we ended up homeless around Thanksgiving in 2018. And I sent them back to Iowa, but I refused to leave because I was like, one day where others gonna work out. And it was just like, I met one person who just randomly came in and offered me to go to their house for Thanksgiving. And then another person I randomly met offered me to stay at their house. And then another person put me in line with the person who helped me find an apartment and then a job. And then it was like someone else helped me get on, doing what I love to do when it comes to doing business and poetry. It was like one person after the other just lined up when I put my mind in a position like I'm not leaving here until I get what I came for. And then people just lined up and they came and what I needed was there.
That's a beautiful story. And I have seen that happen for a lot of people. When you make your mind up, and that's why writing these goals down is so important. When you make your mind up, the universe opens doors. When you're still on the fence, it's just waiting to see what you're going to do. But when you make your mind up and you say, I am going to do this, then the universe is like, okay, let me give you some help. Here you go, here you go, here you go. And then you keep walking through and you keep taking that step forward and taking that step forward. So it's so powerful to write your intentions down and to start affirming what you want. So let's come up with some things that we can go back to. So it says, when I watch or listen to the items I list below, I'm inspired to be and do more. I feel abundant. I feel supplied. I feel wealthy and rich. All right. There is this song, and I'm going to have to send it to you guys. And the song says, money is coming to me. Money is coming to me. And it says, money keeps coming to me. And it says, I can just feel it. I believe it's coming to me now, and I'm not worried about how. Oh yeah, money is coming to me. And it says, come on, come on, come on. The universe is working for me. And it's just this beautiful song. I have it on my YouTube. I'm going to put it on my page after this workshop. It's just a beautiful song. Every time I hear it, I just feel like money is coming to me. I feel it. I just feel it coming. I don't know how. I don't know when. I just know it's coming. So is there a song that makes you feel abundant, that makes you feel like you have? Another one for me is Jill Scott, Living My Life Like It's Golden. You know, that's one that makes me feel like I've got a golden life. I've got so many opportunities. I have so much good going for me. So what do you guys have? Any songs coming to mind that just make you feel good? You feel good? You feel like you got more than enough?
If this world was mine.
Okay, let's write that down. If this world were mine. Yeah, that's a great little thinking about you have the world in your hands. You know, what you would do if this world were yours. Any other songs coming to mind for you guys? So we got a couple you can write down. Any movies, you know, a movie that makes me think about abundance is The Pursuit of Happiness. Because he goes from sleeping in, what was it, a bus station, I think it was? Train station, in the bathroom of a train station, to being a Wall Street broker making buku money, you know what I'm saying? And again, we're talking about making that decision. He made a decision that this was his path to abundance, and he stuck with it, even when he wasn't even getting paid as an intern. He had that vision, I will be successful. I am going to be wealthy. I am going to prosper. And he just kept moving forward. And I think one of the scenes that comes to my mind, I know everybody who's seen this movie has seen this scene. You might have even seen this scene if you didn't see the movie, because it's been on YouTube. When his son is playing basketball and his son is trying to shoot, and he goes, "Daddy, I want to be a basketball player." And he goes, "You're not going to be." And then he sees his son, his energy just dropped, and he said, come here. Don't believe anybody that tells you you can't, even me. Because they're telling you you can't because they can't. And that's such a powerful scene. And it's about that possibility. The son has possibility. You know what I'm saying? The son has the possibility to be whatever. So he doesn't want anybody to take that away from him. So we got, you know, any movies that you guys think of that kind of make you feel?
It's this movie, 7 Pounds.
7 pounds, okay.
Now, it's not particularly speaking about the spirit of money.
Right.
In the abundance form of giving.
Right.
Even when you leave.
Right.
And so he contacted these various people, Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And one needed eyes, one needed a heart. And he found a way to do this after his death. And they all joined in together. And I just thought that was a wealth of abundance right there.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That is, yeah, I know the movie you're talking about. You know, there's a lot of books out there. I bought a stack of books, you know, that I have looked at throughout my life, and they inspire me. If you've never read The Magic of Thinking Big, I definitely would suggest it. If you've never read Think and Grow Rich, I would definitely suggest that. What else? Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Very powerful book. So, Stuart Wilde. Okay. Miracles. Okay.
The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
Ah, that's beautiful. Deepak Chopra, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Deepak Chopra. I just listened to that on audiobook. That is a beautiful book. So you might want to write some of those down, you know. So we have brainstormed on abundance. We have thought about kernel memories. That's what you're going to be doing through this whole book. You're going to be going through topics. You're going to be coming up with those memories. You're going to be coming up with songs that you can go back to so that whenever you hear that song, see, what I want to create for you is triggers. Whenever you hear life is golden, living my life like it's golden, you think abundance, and that triggers your vibration to rise. Whenever you think of the movie 7 Pounds, you think abundance. That, you know, triggers your vibration to rise. Whenever you think of The Pursuit of Happiness, that triggers you again. I want to create triggers so that when you go through your everyday life, you are being triggered to remember your goals. You're being triggered to remember your affirmations. You're being triggered to remember these positive principles that actually can move us forward, right? And so that's what I want to do. And whenever you see Oprah, you think I'm going to be abundant like Oprah or Mansa Musa, or Barack Obama. How many times do we see Barack Obama? What if every time we saw Barack Obama, like we have these drinking games. I've never played one because I don't get drunk. But every time some word is said, right, people take a shot. What if we made that a positive thing? What if every time you saw Barack Obama, you thought, I'm going to be abundant. I'm going to be able to move into opportunities for me. I'm going to be able to have doors open for me. That's what I want to do. I want you to start having these triggers in your life so that it's starting to happen all the time. And you're becoming triggered, not in a bad way, but in a positive way, And so you keep going back to your goals. You keep going back to your affirmations. You keep going back to these images. And then they start triggering you to think about the positive, triggering you to think about the opportunities. All right. And so what I would like you to do before we leave off this page is to write down an affirmation. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to kind of think about it. It needs to be positive. It needs to be like, I am, all right, I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am supplied with everything I need. I am more than enough, something like that. And then a goal in this date. Now, you don't have to tell us the goal, but I would like you to share out your affirmation because I would like people to be able to hear, what affirmation you came up with. All right. So I'm going to give you just like a minute or so to write down an affirmation. Now, I had you guys pick up some stickers. When you complete your goal, you can put a sticker by it. I love stickers. Stickers motivate me. I was telling Zone yesterday that sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for the things we accomplish because we don't write them down. But if you start writing down when you accomplish your goals, and then on this page or even in your journal that you have, anything in the abundance area that you actually complete, like if you save $100, write it down. Give yourself credit for that. If you pay off a debt, write it down. Because at the end of the year, you can look back and say, man, this is all of the stuff I accomplished. And you can feel like you are moving forward. Because sometimes we don't even notice. We don't give ourselves credit. And then we feel like, man, I'm not doing anything or I'm not moving forward. But we are. We're just not taking time to, as people say, smell the roses. We're not taking time to smell the roses. So, everybody should have picked up a journal. You can, in that journal, start recording when you actually get things done, when you actually are moving forward towards your goal. Even if it's a small thing, even if you just start paying your bills on time instead of late, that's still moving towards abundance because you don't get the late fee. So it's still saving you money. So we have to give ourselves credit for the little things as well as the big things. It doesn't have to be you made $1 million to give yourself credit for it. It could be you saved $25 this month and you've never saved $25 in your life. That's an improvement. So we want to give ourselves credit because everything starts with a baby step. And you get that baby step down and then you move forward to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then also, I think it was Tony Robbins, somebody said, you need to start with the small wins because the small wins make you feel like you can do something bigger. But if you don't give yourself credit for the small wins, then you don't feel like you can move forward or you can do more. So you guys got some affirmations you wrote down?
Yes. I am progressing and nothing is going to stop me.
I like that.
I am a wealth of abundance, spiritually, physically, and mentally.
Oh, beautiful.
I am grateful.
I am grateful. That's a wonderful thing. I am grateful. That's awesome.
I am a walking testimony of wealth, health, abundance, and access.
Beautiful.
I am always attracting large sums of money on a continuous basis.
Beautiful. Wow. So you guys are making me feel excited just listening to you. I mean, we're going to stop for a second. Don't you feel the positive energy when you hear that? I could feel the positive energy in the room. I could just feel it. When we started saying those things, the energy rose. So what if you were doing that every day? What if you were doing that in your car as you're driving around? You know what I'm saying? Opening this book and reading those things to yourself, you know, adding more on here. You don't have to just do one. I just gave you room for one, but you got a whole journal. You could fill up a page of them.
Also, like have the words on your in your house on the wall. Yes. So like when you wake up in the morning, like even have it on your ceiling. So as soon as you open your eyes, you see an affirmation on the ceiling.
That's good. I agree with you. I listen to YouTube affirmations a lot when I wake up in the morning, when I'm brushing my teeth, washing my face. I have some favorites. I have like 200 of them now on a playlist. I just hit play and let it go while I'm getting dressed. So this was the abundance page. All right. And so we basically kind of went through this. You've got space to put pictures there. You have space to put scenes there, so you can cut and paste out of magazines. We all probably have heard of a vision board. This is what I call beyond the vision board. But you still have space to cut and paste pictures in here. You know, so you can use this however you want when you leave here to add pictures in. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to give you guys some time to pick a page that you wanted to look at. All right, we've got some tables here and kind of go through that page, and then kind of we could share out so we could get some different, we all were working on the same page then, but I wanted to get some different pages, you know, because we're not going to be able to go through this whole 20-page workshop by 5. But we can go through some different pages. So I would like you to either decide if you're going to work with a partner or decide if you're going to work individually and pick a page, and then you're going to basically read through it. You're going to basically talk about your memories and stuff like that. And Mr. Ross is probably going to be coming around to just kind of capture a little bit of your conversation and things like that as we're discussing. Okay. So how are you liking this so far? How are you feeling about? Yeah. Awesome. All right.
I'm feeling abundant.
I'm feeling abundant too. All right. I guess I'll keep it over here.
3:39. All right. I'll leave in 20 minutes.
Yes, you do. So was there a page that you had in mind that you wanted to look at next?
I'm looking to see if I have my own one. I think it was alignment.
I like accountability.
You like accountability?
I have a hard time with that sometimes. I'll give my word on stuff and then I won't hold myself accountable for it.
Well, that would be good to make a goal in that area. So since you're eating, I'm going to read accountability. It says accountability is a necessary tool for change. There are many methods for it: using calendars, attending meetings of like-minded individuals, promising yourself rewards for following through or punishments for falling off. One of the greatest tools is really understanding why you want the goals that you have set. So have you ever thought about why you want the goals that you've set? That's true. Okay. And then it says label a page in your journal accountability. Now reflect on each goal and ask why. Why do you want to accomplish this thing? Be specific. Then close your eyes and ground yourself in this why. So probably what you need to do is really think about how you would actually feel if you accomplish that, and let that really become real to you so that it motivates you, you know, because we only get motivated either to move towards pleasure or away from pain, and whichever one is the strongest is the one that we gravitate towards. So if you feel like it's going to be painful to change, then you're not going to do whatever it is. But if you get really excited about the positive change and you can really see it, you can really feel it, then it's more motivational.
It all goes back to subconscious. If your conscious mind, if you continuously tell your subconscious mind that create this kind of world for me, then subconsciously you're going to create it. But if you keep telling yourself all these negative things subconsciously, all you're going to do is create negativity around you.
You're right. And so then it says, at least monthly for long-term goals and weekly for shorter goals. Revisit your why. It may change as you change and grow. Write down how you will keep yourself accountable. So that might be something you need to do too, is like come up with a plan for accountability. Like, are you going to, ask one of your friends to don't let me do this? Or, if you see me doing this, ask me, man, why are you doing that? Or what is your plan for accountability? Sometimes I've joined a couple of Facebook communities for different goals that I want, because like I've joined like 3 podcasting communities, because seeing what they're doing, it makes me want to do more, so it keeps me, or not that I can do it better, but also it shows me what can be done. It shows me how people are doing it, but it also makes me want to have things that I could post in that group that I'm doing too. So it's a way to keep me accountable, because we can all get lazy. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's.
Very much so. Yeah. I always had a friend or two to kind of keep me in line as far as being around the right people, the people that have a positive mindset. And so I'll be like, well, they just really need my help, and I'm just gonna help them, and then they just do the bad thing all over again, and I'm whimpering all over again. And so I need to be held totally accountable for that. And so I have stuff written around the house, or I may have something programmed in the phone to say, okay, do not engage in that type of conversation with that person. Don't be rude. Just say, well, I can't talk to you right now because I'm really in the middle of something, and you are, and I am, because I'm in the middle of a positive thought, and I want to keep it that way.
That's good, having something in your phone. I decided I was going to start walking because the gyms had closed. I had a habit of going to the gym every Saturday and Sunday. I did Zumba on Saturdays, and I did like weight training on Sundays. And I hadn't gone to the gym since March till May. That was 2 months, and my clothes were starting to, show me that I hadn't been to the gym. So I was like, oh boy. So I decided I was going to start walking, and I put an app on my phone that was tracking my steps. And that was very motivational, because it would say, you've got 100 more steps to get to a 5K, or 1,000 more steps to get to a 10K, or this many more to be better than 75% of the people who started this app. That made me want to keep going, and it kept me accountable also, because like it would show you, here's your week. Like you walked this much today, this much yesterday, this much the day before. So I wanted to try to stay at the same, level or improve. I didn't want to have like one day I walked 5,000 steps and the next day I walked 200 steps, because that just looked bad on the chart, So it helped me to be accountable, So we do have apps out there that we can probably use with that. So we got a lot of stuff down here. So we talked about songs, movies, and books before, but this one has a motivational speaker, because there's a lot of motivational speakers that talk about accountability. So you might want to go on YouTube and Google accountability and see, what you can come up with, like who is a motivational speaker who has messages about that. And then it's got a place for you to put your affirmation and your personal goal. And then at the very bottom, it's got some different little, what I call sentence stems. I feel proud and accomplished because, it was difficult, but I persevered. I acknowledge that accountability is helping me become more blank. You can kind of just fill in these sentences, kind of helping you remember, why you want to be accountable. So basically, you would have to fill in words for this to make sense, because it's geared for it to not be complete at the bottom, So, and you said alignment. So we could flip over there to alignment. So alignment says alignment is a choice to put things in order with a certain goal in mind. All that we have been doing has been laying the foundation for alignment, changing our mindset on supply, asking what should access us, becoming accountable, taking action, and adapting. These things change the image we see in the mirror. They represent a commitment to a path. They exemplify self-care and retrieving our power. We've become people who do X, whatever the goal, action, decision was. X makes us feel, think, and live differently. We've mobilized our will, emotions, body, spirit, soul, thoughts, and lifestyle to a harmonious synergy. This is sometimes difficult. It is sometimes full of trial and error. It is sometimes one step forward, two steps back. It is still worth it. And then there's some little 1, 2, 3 remembers. And then there's some basically alignment activities. So have you ever done breathing activities? What kind of breathing activities have you done? Do they have names, or you just breathe with counts?
No, I don't. As far as breathing, only way that I try to work at that is what they taught in choir. So when you proper way, that's what they say. So sit up straight on the edge of the chair, hand on your stomach, and inhale, stomach goes out. Inhale, stomach goes in. Exhale, stomach goes out. Yeah, so proper way. That's the way that I work. That's a breathing exercise.
So, fire breaths, Gasho breaths, Zennurgy breaths, those are different kind of breaths. You can Google them. Fire breaths is basically you breathe in and out very rapidly. So it's going to actually make you feel like your mouth is on fire, and it's going to make this feel like it's hot. That's why it's called a fire breath. But actually, if you do it like normally, like some people do it with like the rosary beads, and they're basically moving their hand around the beads, because what it does is it basically puts you in a meditative state. You know, when we're awake, like right now, we're at a certain brain level, okay? Right before you go to sleep, you go to a thing that's called theta. In theta state, that's where you're most suggestible. You're awake, but you're also semi-awake because you're falling asleep. You know what I'm saying? So, theta, yes. So right before you go to sleep and right when you wake up, those are the most suggestible your subconscious mind is. And that's why when you, like, what people say when you first wake up, if you have like something that you remember from your dreams, write it down, because your subconscious can be talking to you right then. Yeah. Or right when you go, like, I don't know if you ever had a teacher tell you this, but like before you go to sleep, if you give yourself a question that you want to answer that your subconscious mind can be working on while you're sleeping, if you tell that to yourself right before you go to sleep, you're likely to wake up with the answer, because you've given your subconscious something to do. But you can put yourself in the theta state by different breathing techniques. So fire breaths is one way to do it. You know, you breathe in and out as rapidly as you can, you know, and you want to start off with like 50, because you don't want to like hyperventilate. You got to get used to it. Yeah, you got to get used to it.
Like, okay.
Or it's even starting with 25 or whatever. Gasho breaths you have to use a timer with that. So basically you would breathe in for 4 seconds and breathe out for 8 seconds. But you would stop, you would like breath, stop. So you would stop your breath. So you know, it's like when you're breathing out, it's like, you know, so you would stop your breath. But you can Google these because they have like YouTube videos on them. Zazen breaths are another just way of deep breathing. But basically when you do that, you are deliberately putting yourself in the theta state. So what happens when you put yourself in the theta state is you make your subconscious more more pliable. So it's easier, like if you're saying affirmations after you've gone into the theta state, they go deeper into your brain. They stick. Or if you're writing goals down, it's gonna stick more, you know. Can you scoot his straw pad over a little bit? Could you just scoot it over a little bit? Because she wanted, yeah, thank you. Yeah. I just had to move it just so we had the doorway clear. Yeah, so that was, so basically that's just talking about ways to get your subconscious, you know, really going and really to put those thoughts into your subconscious. you know. And so that's just different things. So again, so each one of these pages has room for you to put a song, a movie, a book, a motivational speaker, you know, and so on, and just your affirmations, your goals, just so you can kind of move forward with that. So why do you think like alignment is really important? Like what made you pick that page?
I mean, it's just the fact of being a part of the creative and the collective as a whole. Like last night I performed for the first time in a long time, but it's all kind of like trickling down to where I'm still in the community, but I'm meeting different people. So things are becoming more, they're like aligning up for me to be able to do what I want to do and how what I'm trying to do as far as being creative. So that's what I feel like. Yeah.
Was there a page that really stuck out to you? Access. Okay, let's look at the access page, and then I'm gonna see what they've been talking, because it looks like they're having a really great conversation over there. We're gonna tap into them. So access says, have you ever inventoried your life? Where do you spend your time? Who do you spend your time with? Where and how do you spend your money? What are your natural gifts? So these are basically journals that you could do, is actually just writing down, like, where do you spend your time? You might even want to just take one of those planners and just, keep track of your time. Like, how much time do you spend watching TV? How much time do you spend if you play video games? How much time do you spend? We're talking about your free time. Like, what are you actually using it for? And is it like actually helping you? Because we all need downtime, but sometimes we waste a lot of time, And then it says, what are your natural gifts? What are your skills and talents? What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? When do you feel the best about yourself, the worst about yourself? When do you feel you protected access to yourself? So basically you would just make a section of your journal called access, and you would just ask yourself these questions and just write down the answers, because it's giving you a chance to kind of focus on what you're actually giving access to. Like, what kind of TV shows are you watching? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? What are your skills and talents, and are you actually accessing them? Those kind of things, so. And then you got a place to put the song, the movie, the book, the affirmation. And then you have a place to kind of fill it in again. When I remember blank, I feel like I made a wise decision because blank was helping me become more blank and helping me use the skill of blank and the talent of blank. So you would be basically thinking about good decisions with your access. I feel that respect, that honor, that encouragement as I picture my success and now implementing blank. So again, you could be filling that in, and it gives you some space to put things that you're grateful that you have access to, because gratitude is a really powerful emotion. So really thinking about, what do you like, the people in your life that you have access to, the places that you can go that are like really motivational and inspirational to you, kind of just really take an inventory of what you have around you. And then it has a place for you to think about, like, the ancestor that was accessing his or her talents with ease. You can put their picture above. A contemporary person who seems to keep a good inventory of their use of time and energy. You could put their picture on here. So you kind of get some inspiration for that. Okay. You're welcome. So I wanted to kind of come. Now, some of these pages have where you have to fill in at the very bottom. You have to fill in the statements for them to make sense, because it'll say, when I remember, and then it stops. Like, when I remember going to school and being an athlete, then you'd have to fill in the rest to kind of make sense with it. So what were you guys kind of discussing?
Learning about the attitude and how you got to have the right attitude to attract what you're trying to get. You know what I'm saying? Being in that right frame of mind and the right energy, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
We was writing with our mouth. We wasn't talking.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Well, this is like, this episode, I actually gave you like some of the time stamps on that podcast episode. It's also a YouTube video, so you could actually watch it, and it gives you some of the little things that we discussed on that attitude episode. So did you guys have any questions about anything that you were looking at in the book, or you're good at everything you saw?
No, nothing I can think of. Actually, that's kind of, this is really putting the topping on my day because I woke up this morning and doing my meditation and I started listening to some different series on YouTube about goal setting, and then I got out my notebooks and I'm a journal junkie. I probably carry like 5 of them with me at one time. And then just started, goal setting and writing down the different areas of my life that I want to see specific goals in and breaking it down in time. And so I'm seeing some other things in here to be able to incorporate with that to help me achieve those goals. Like get my attitude together and, increase my affirmations and different stuff like that. So this is definitely well worth being able to be adding a 10 because it's adding to that. So,
Like my affirmation I wrote down, I say that all the time. I am always attracting large sums of money on a continuous basis, and when I do that, it just steady becoming in. Steady becoming. I'm talking about, look, Wednesday morning I woke up, checked my phone, got up this morning, and $1,200 was in my bank account. I'm like, where this come from? I had to call my bank, where this come from? That was from the IRS, from the stimulus check. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll take it. You know what I'm talking about? But like, I say them things, and it just keep coming, steady coming. So like, it works. Like, it works. Whether you write it down or say it, it's happening. You feel me?
I agree with you.
I'm telling you.
So I wanted to kind of give you guys like something that you could use for quite a while. I mean, this is not a one-day thing. This is weeks, possibly months of work, that you could go back to and fill in, songs, movies, books, motivational speakers. These were some of the books that I brought with me. So I'll share, if you want to write down any of these titles. This is Iyanla Vanzant's Until Today. And this is kind of it's basically a daily journal. So it's basically, I won't call it a devotional, but it gives you food for thought for each day. And she kind of comes from the Christian tradition, but also the Yoruba tradition where she's been initiated. So she has a lot of, for the spiritual people who've gone away from church, you might be more comfortable with this than some of the devotionals that have a lot of Bible scriptures in it. But she does have Bible scriptures in here from time to time. This one is more for the women, succulent wild women, dancing with your wonderful self. This is basically about just moving away from society's expectations of women and just being your fully, developed self, even if that means that you're not exactly what people say is ladylike or whatever they want to call it, So giving yourself permission to be wild, in a sense, not in a sexual sense, but just in a unconventional sense. This is another Iyanla Vanzant book, One Day My Soul Just Opened Up. This is 40 Days and 40 Nights of spiritual strength and personal growth. So this is, again, very thematic, but she has here journals in here that you can fill in. And I filled in a lot of the journals, but I haven't done all of them. And I have all kind of underlining and highlighting, and I've gone back to this book over many years. She also has lots of affirmations. She has pages and pages and pages of affirmations in this book. So it's the biggest collection of affirmations I've ever seen. This book is called The Kid and the CEO. And the thing I like about this book is at the back of it, it has page after page. It has 135 what he feels are positive statements or beliefs that you can incorporate. And then it has about 20 pages of books that it suggests that you read. And I have not even I started reading like the first 3 or 4 on this list, but there's literally like about 20, well, it's about 5 or 6 pages of books. It's just page after page of books. You can see right here, you guys can see how many books are listed here. And these are all self-help, personal growth, motivational books. So this book by itself would give you enough for years of personal growth. It's called The Mentor, The Kid, and the CEO. This book is called Zap, The Lightning of Empowerment, How to Improve Quality, Productivity, and Employee Satisfaction. So it's about people who want to run businesses, but it's also about anybody who wants to take control of their lives. You know, how to get yourself motivated, how to get yourself inspired. The magic of self-direction. This is about, again, taking control of your life, directing your life. This book is another Ian Levanzant book called Tapping the Power Within. This has a lot of spiritual practices, meditation, things like that. So it's a very powerful book. She has some rituals in here I haven't done, some rituals that I do every day. You know, Barbara Sher, Live the Life You Love. This is in 10 easy step-by-step lessons. So this is another good book. So these are books that I've been using, some of them for years, some of them I just incorporated this year. This one, like I said, with all these books in the back, I'll be using this book probably for the next 10 years or so. So if you wanted to take pictures of these, you know, write down the titles or whatever, you're definitely welcome to write those down. But I think I've kind of covered pretty much everything. I don't want to overwhelm you with too many things, but you got some stuff to take with you throughout the year. Thumbtacks and markers and colors and Post-it notes and all that kind of stuff, journal and all of that. So I hope that you guys feel like you got a lot of stuff to take with you to make your goals come true. And I think we're going to kind of basically wrap it up. Did anybody want to say anything before we kind of wrap up? Okay. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Taking me out of the land of procrastination. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, I think I'm going to turn off the mic.